Hey everyone, and welcome. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining me for this explainer. If you're currently carrying high interest credit card debt, you know exactly how suffocating it can feel. You're working so hard, you're making your payments, but that balance, it just barely seems to budge. And you've probably seen those glossy mailers offering 0% balance transfers and thought to yourself, okay, there's got to be a catch, right? Well, today we're going to grab our markers, head to the whiteboard, and really master the world of credit card debt relief. We are going to figure out how to use balance transfers wisely to save a literal ton of money, all without getting burned by the common traps that end up costing people way more in the long run.
So this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Or, well, at least the thousands of dollars question. When you're feeling the crushing weight of high-interest debt, anything that even looks like a lifeline is incredibly tempting. Should I do a balance transfer? It is the exact question on so many people's minds. But the answer actually isn't a simple yes or no. It depends entirely on whether you have the right strategy in place. Because honestly, doing it wrong can make your financial situation worse. But doing it right, that can be a complete game changer.
To get there, here's our game plan for the explainer. First, we'll dive into the balance transfer lifeline. Second, the smart 5-step strategy. Third, when to avoid them entirely. And finally, taking control of your debt. All right, Section 1, the balance transfer lifeline. So what is it? Well, a balance transfer is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. You're moving your existing debt from one credit card to another card. But not just any random card, you're moving it to a card that is specifically offering a 0% introductory annual percentage rate, or APR, for a strictly limited time. If we look at the data, this promotional window usually lasts anywhere from 12 to 21 months. The absolutely crucial thing to remember here is that this isn't free money, and it definitely doesn't make your debt just magically disappear. What it actually does is give you a temporary interest-free window so you can stop treading water and finally attack the principal balance of your debt. To put that into perspective, the old reality for so many people is carrying debt at a punishing 18 to 29% APR. At those kinds of rates, a massive chunk of your monthly payment is literally just feeding the interest engine. You aren't even touching the actual debt. But the new reality with a successful balance transfer? 0% intro APR. For 12 to 21 months, every single penny of your payment goes directly toward wiping out what you actually owe. It sounds fantastic, right? But again, it's only fantastic if you use it correctly. Moving on to Section 2, the smart 5-step strategy. Okay, I want you to think of me as your financial coach right now. We're about to cross a very treacherous bridge over a river of debt, and we need a strict roadmap to get across safely. Here are 5 non-negotiable steps to make this strategy work without falling into a trap. Step 1, check your score. Step 2, compare offers. Step 3, do the math. Step 4, create a payoff plan. And Step 5, which is honestly the hardest part for a lot of folks, stop using the old cards. Let's break down exactly how this builds into an actionable plan. Let's look really closely at those first 2 steps. First, checking your score. You generally need good to excellent credit, which typically means a score of 670 or higher, to even get approved for the absolute best 0% offers. Now, if you meet that threshold, Step 2 is comparing the offers carefully. Please do not just grab the very first one you see. You've got to scrutinize the length of that 0% intro period. You also have to check the balance transfer fee, which is usually around 3 to 5% of the amount you're actually transferring. And super importantly, look at the regular APR that's going to kick back in the second that promotional period ends. Let's dive into Step 3 and actually do the math together with a real-world example. Let's say you want to transfer $5,000 of debt. You find a card with a solid 15-month promo period, but it has a 4% transfer fee attached. That fee comes out to $200. So your total new balance to pay off is now $5,200. Now, I know you might immediately balk at adding $200 to your debt, but here is why doing the math actually matters. By paying that $200 toll, you are completely stopping that 18 to 29% interest engine we talked about. In this specific example, making that move saves you roughly 22% in interest charges over those 15 months. The interest you save is far, far greater than the fee you paid up front. Which brings us to Step 4, having a payoff plan in action. You simply cannot just transfer the balance, pay the minimums every month, and hope for the best. You have to calculate exactly how much you need to pay each month to be completely debt-free before the 0% period expires. So if your new total balance is $5,200 and you have 15 months, you divide $5,200 by 15. The result? You need to pay roughly $347 every single month. That is your target. You hit that target and you beat the debt. And well,
That brings us to step 5, which definitely deserves a massive exclamation point. Stop using the old cards. This is such a huge psychological trap. Think about it. You move $5,000 off your old card, and suddenly, boom, it has a zero balance. It looks like available money. It's not. If you start running up brand new debt on the old empty card while you are still trying to scrape together that $347 a month to pay off the new card, you are heading straight into a financial disaster. That is exactly how people end up getting much, much deeper into debt.
Which leads us to section 3, when to avoid them. Look, balance transfers are powerful, but they are not for everyone, and it's time to be brutally honest with ourselves. You should absolutely avoid doing a balance transfer if any of these 3 warning signs apply to your situation. First, if you know deep down in your heart that you will probably spend on the old card again, just don't do it. Second, if you realistically cannot commit to a strict payoff plan, like that $347 a month we just mapped out, the debt is still going to be there when the sky-high interest rate kicks back in. And third, if your math reveals that the transfer fee plus the regular APR after the promo ends actually makes it more expensive overall, walk away. Always make sure the interest saved is greater than the fee plus any potential new spending. Because here is the harsh reality. Balance transfers only help with existing debt. They do not fix the spending habits that created the debt in the first place. A 0% credit card is literally just a piece of plastic. It's a mathematical tool. It's not a behavioral cure. If you don't actually change the habits that led to the debt, a balance transfer will only delay the inevitable. And finally, section 4, taking control of debt. It's time to shift from just understanding these concepts to actually applying them in your own life today. So, I have a practical challenge for you this week. If you are sitting on high-interest credit card debt right now, I want you to log in and pull up your recent credit card statements. Look specifically at the line item for how much interest you are paying every single month, add it all up, then go look up a current balance transfer offer, look closely at their fee, and compare the two. Really do the math. Find out right now if building this financial bridge is the right move to save you money. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. Does a balance transfer actually fix your debt, or does it just fix your interest rate? The answer, of course, is that it only fixes the rate. You are the one who has to fix the debt. But armed with the right math, a strict payoff plan, and a firm commitment to stop using those old cards, you absolutely have the power to do it. You've got this. One smart move at a time, you really can take control of your financial journey. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I can't wait to explore more fascinating topics with you next time.